salaries of some public workers who stayed away from work on Mondays in compliance with the sit at home. Now, one might want to ask, what is the government's justification? Now, the administration of Governor Charles Soludo insists that the sit at home is illegal and economically destructive, and that government workers are expected to report to duty as part of their obligations. Now, these deductions are meant to enforce discipline within the civil service and discourage continued compliance with the order. So, I mean, if your officials argue that paying salaries to workers who deliberately stayed away from work would amount to endorsing a practice that undermines governance and development. But another thing we need to also take a look at is that the Anambra State government has begun demolition activities in parts of the famous Onitsha commercial districts, including areas connected to Onitsha main market. They say that the demolitions are part of a broader urban renewal and market restructuring plan aimed at removing illegal structures, decongesting trading areas, improving sanitation and safety, and restoring order in one of markets that is regarded as one of the biggest in West Africa, right? So we would like to take a look at these interesting developments in Anambra State. We saw the build up to what we see today. Remember, this Monday sit at home began in 2021 as a protest linked to the detention of the trial and eventual incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, or sentencing to life imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu. Although IPOB later announced that the directive has been suspended, enforcement by unknown government and fear of violence has continued to affect economic and social activities. Now, for the Anambra State government, they believe they've been able to do all that is needed to be done. They have engaged with the stakeholders, they have provided the much needed security, and the habit of sitting at home on Mondays is something that they are bent on stopping. So this evening we'd like to have a chat with the Commissioner for Information in Anambra State, Mr. Lomefo. He joins us virtually this evening to help us really understand beyond the headlines, beyond what we see on the newspapers, what is actually going on in Anambra State. So hopefully he helps us to bring clarity to some of these interesting headlines that we see. Mr. Mefo, if you can hear me, good evening to you. So thank you so much for joining us. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Anambra State is in the news. I don't know if I should say for the right or for the wrong reasons, but for the right reasons. Okay, all right. So, but a lot of people would say that the governor has made good, or the government has made good its threats to slash salaries of workers who, failed to show up for work on Mondays and all of that. So, can you take us through what the engagement process was like? What led to this moment? So what can you say the government has done? How has the government been able to really engage with people to build their confidence in order to, see Mondays as normal work days again? That now that we are here, the government can say, oh, that we are justified, that this is the action that we are taking. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 So what you're saying is that the governor or the Anambra State government engaged with these workers, understood what their grievances were, and security was top on their priority list, and the government was able to attend to that. So what you're saying is that the workers have absolutely no reason not to return to work on Mondays. Okay.
Didn't want to invoke them because
Mm. All right. All right.
All right. Okay, so according to the reports that we got, some workers, after the deductions, at the end of the day, they went home with 3,500, some 10,000 naira, and there was a report that said a worker went home with 100 naira. And the person that went home with 3,500 earns about 80,000 naira. And you said, just like you said now, you mentioned that the deductions were as a result of not coming to work on Mondays. So just if we have 28 days, because the salary was, it should be for February, right? So we have 28 days in February, and we have 4 Mondays in February. So how come a person that earns 80,000 naira, you are deducting for not coming to work for 4 days? How come a person that earns a worker that earns 80,000 naira is going home with 3,500? How was the deduction made? I said according to the reports that we got.
So
Mm, mm. Okay, shouldn't be beyond more than 20,000 naira.
it's 2,000.
Okay.
20,000.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Now, this is Governor Soludo's fifth year in office. I mean, he has spent 4 years. He won his re-election bid, and now this is his fifth year in office as a governor. Okay, he hasn't done 4 years yet. Oh, all right. So, is it safe? 17th of March. All right. So, he's stepping into his fifth. The swearing. Oh, he has not been sworn in. Right. So he's stepping into his fifth year as a governor. Now, some of the decisions we've seen him taking, a lot of people would consider it strategic, and these are decisions that he couldn't have taken in his first tenure as a governor, and this is actually one of them. Deducting salaries of civil servants and also what is currently happening at the Onitsha main market, right? We understand parts of Onitsha main market is being demolished. I highlighted that the government says is as a result of urban renewal, taking care of illegal structures and all of that. But I want to really, I want you to be clear on what the exact reasons are, because I know that that market was also shut down as a result of their adherence to the same seat at home. So is part of the market being demolished because the governor wants to remove illegal structures or decongest the trading area, improve sanitation and safety? Are these the reasons why that demolition is going on, or is it as a result of their inability to open the markets or come out on Mondays? Because he also threatened that if they don't want to come out on Mondays, that he will raise down the market and rebuild it. So we want to be clear on the exact reason as to why the demolition is going on at main market.
Last week of January, the governor paid a visit to Onitsha main market, and they found less than 10% of the shops open. And end to see that the following Monday, 2nd of February, we were back in that market and they found over 80% of the shops open. Over 80%. Almost every shop was open. What that means, what that simply means is that from Onitsha main market has nothing to do with the opening of the shops, because the Onitsha main market is almost 100% open every Monday now, leading by example ahead of any other market in Anambra State, big or small, in terms of compliance with the order of the governor to end the sit at home. We had a meeting with the traders about the need to renovate the main market. In fact, they were given two options: to allow the government to pull down on the main market and then rebuild the place in 2 years into an ultra-modern international market, befitting of the place to be called on the main market. The second option they were given was to renovate by removing all the illegal structures that they attached to the master plan of the main market. This point is very, very important.
To remove the structures by themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Onitsha main market has the master plan. It has a master plan. Let me give you an example of what I mean by illegal structures that are quite intolerable. Onitsha main market has 3 motor parks: Park 1, Park 2, Park 3. All the 3 parks were converted to shops. All, not just 1 or 2, the 3 parks. So when people who want to shop come from the Onitsha market, they have to park, miles away and then enter Keke or something else to some place to the market, because there is no park anymore. The traders converted the park to shops. And the boulevard that passes the market is cut in half, built up, with right and left. So big vehicles can no longer come into the market as it were. But the original conception was that even a trailer should be able to enter the market, unload and load and leave. This is no longer possible. So that is what we mean by a legal structure. Conversion of the spaces in the market created and allowed by the master plan itself. Conversion of these spaces into shops. You know, they say many of them say they got approval from the local government authorities. Onitsha main market does not belong to Onitsha North local government. No, it does not. The creation of the state government therefore belongs to Anambra State government. So if you go and receive allocation from an unauthorized source, then whatever you see, you take. And if you also alter a master plan of anywhere, whatever you build, in contravention, in transgression of the master plan, anything you add constitutes an illegal structure. This is my operational definition of illegal structure. And these are the things that are being removed from the market, not the entire market. And it is not being done to punish anybody. It is being done to recover the master plan of Onitsha main market. Renovate it. It's a renovation option. Renovate it. You touch it up a bit.
All right. Do you?
Into Onitsha main market in the last 20 to 30 years because it's no longer a question.
All right. Like how many shops were demolished?
Or is marked for demolition?
Okay. Mm.
So we
Okay.
we understand about 10,000 shops are marked. Can you confirm that number for us from the reports that we see? Okay. Okay.
All right. So, all right. All right. All right. As much as the government is trying to, come back to the master plan of Anambra State, a lot of people believe that a human face should be put to it, right? But I want to know how many days ultimatum did you give the traders to vacate the market, considering the economic condition of the country?
Listen, the place was said all the affected illegal structures were marked as early as this January, right? They were marked. Marking the place for demolition is already a notice. Then, official notice was again issued, giving them 2 weeks. They said that 2 weeks was not sufficient, and the governor doubled the time expected.
Sorry, sorry, sir. The buildings were marked in January. In January. So and they were given an official notice when. They were given an official notice when.
End of January. End of January. There was
2 weeks.
notice, and they said the time was too short. And the governor had to allow more time,
When you
Allow
say,
more time of how many days?
another 2 weeks.
so are you saying no options? Are you saying no alternative was given? No options were given to them? I mean, were they evacuated? Were they evacuated to another place? Because if you're going to demolish their shops,
Oh, no, 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 no. Evacuation is not necessary. Look, let me tell you why. If you are removing somebody from a legal structure, then the issue of evacuation or compensation becomes even legal and moral as well. So they don't talk about compensation and evacuation when you are discussing illegality and illegal structures. And if they needed any specific assistance, they ought to have done that. But rather than presenting a peculiar need, assistance or support, they went to court.
All right, but we live in a country where we know that times are very hard, right? And this and these I'm coming, sir. These traders, they have stayed there for how many years? They have occupied those illegal places for a long time. Most of them have spent 15 years, if I'm correct. So are you saying that the number of days that your government gave to those traders, do you think it was enough for them to get a good shop?
Was enough. If it was a natural disaster, what would they have done? Like I told you, if you are giving if you are giving a a temporary place to occupy, you know, you should know that you will vacate the place any moment. You get the point. So they knew that what they occupied, the space they occupied was illegal. That's just it.
they probably did not know they've been occupying an illegal structure, because when you talk about these buildings, I mean, the traders couldn't have converted the parking lots or the parking spaces to shops on their own accord. They must have gotten approval. So it's a question of, where did they get the approval? I heard you say most of them said they got approval from local government and all of that. Maybe they were not properly informed. But one thing you cannot take away from them is that they sought for approval from the local government. They got approval for those buildings to be erected. So what is the consequence for the government establishment or the government ministry that actually approved those structures, right? Or will the traders bear the brunt of their unprofessionalism?
You see, for me, if I were one of them, I will take such authorities to court, because it was a clear case of trespassing. You cannot give out to what you don't possess. That's a fact. And but again, I know that you see the local government, they look for sources of revenue, so they create all manner of makeshift structures and give it out to people. They do that all the time and everywhere. And I'm sure if you look well, you see the same thing in Enugu. So, but whoever is given such a space should know it is not a permanent structure. You will know it's not a permanent structure. It's always a makeshift structure. And makeshift structures can be removed anytime, because it's not part of the permanent structure. That's the point. And giving them well over 1 month notice is sufficient. And Anambra State, Anambra is a commercial hub of the entire Southeast. What that means is that they have alternative places to trade. There is no town in Anambra State without at least one functional market.
So, Mr. Mefo, what's the projection for the re-erection of this market? What's the projection? And will the traders? Yes. Well, okay, you just want to.
Structures that are being removed, not the entire market. I made that point earlier.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but I'm aware that on February 25th, Justice Mweze of the state Anambra High Court, he issued an interim injunction restraining your principal from, proceeding with the demolition until a substantive hearing scheduled for March 16th. Today is March 4th, and your principal had already started, the demolition process. So how is it if the executive arm of the government cannot, can successfully ignore a court order? How do you now?
Brother.
But the date was given March 16th. Is it up to March 16th?
That is demolishing the illegal structures.
So who then is demolishing the illegal structure?
But then you said the property does not belong to them; that it belongs to the Anambra State government. That it is not a property. No, you said it's not the property of Onitsha North, right? Because these traders you said these traders had presented documents that shows that they got approval from Onitsha North, and you said that Onitsha Main Market is not the property of Onitsha North, but it is the property of Anambra State government. So how do you say that Anambra North is overseeing the demolition of the same place that you say it's not their property? Did you delegate them with that responsibility as the state government? Because it's the state government that initiated the demolition process. So were they mandated by the governor? So were they mandated by the governor to do that? They just started demolishing the the structures on their own.
But
Traders, I'll forward to me.
but you also mentioned that the governor had a meeting with traders, and at the meeting, he cited that he made reference to some of the illegal structures, and he said that they needed to go. So that means that he is aware of those structures, or he's aware of the demolition too.
But if Onitsha North is doing it, if Onitsha North is doing it, they are saving us the trouble.
Mr. Mefo, I understand the political response. I mean, you're trying to exonerate. You're trying to exonerate your principal from. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a political response because I understand that you're trying to exonerate your principal from the whole. So, but there's nothing you have said in the course of this interview to suggest that Onitsha North is in charge of that demolition. There's absolutely nothing that you have said. You talked about you talked about the series of meetings the governor has had with the market, the traders. You talked about the notice that was given. You did not say it was Onitsha North that gave them the notice. You said the governor gave them the notice in January, and yes. So the governor, wait, hold on a second. The governor, you said the governor gave them a notice in, the shops were marked for the demolition in January. And they were given 2 weeks notice. Okay.
Right? We gave them a notice 2 weeks in the first instance and later renewed it, by elongating it to another 2 weeks and even beyond. But here is the court order stopping us completely. So we had to obey the court, and you can see the loss of Onitsha North now taking up the ball.
So Onitsha North will OGC Awombo. They now had to ignore the court order and step in to demolish the place.
I think they are being realistic there because it is Onitsha North local government, their past administrations that they put those illegal structures in a property that is owned by the state government. So I don't see anything wrong in them removing the illegal structures they put there.
Well, I mean, you are the commissioner for information in Anambra State, so you're speaking also for the local government, right? But I'm only wondering that if the executive arm, okay,
Presidential democracy that we run in Nigeria. It's a three-tier of government: federal, state, and local. So I don't speak for the mayors or the local governments in Anambra. No, I speak for the state government.
but my question really is, my question is, if the executive arm is not, obeying the court's order, right? How do you now expect your citizens to? I'm coming. How do you expect your citizens to obey, or to put an end to the sit-at-home order?
Can I give you information? The state government, I told you already, is not demolition. That is in obedience to the court order that you made reference to. The court order never joined on its announced local government. That's a grievous error on their own part. They weren't properly guided. They ought to have joined the mayor of Onitsha. That's it. They didn't do that, and Onitsha decided to go and remove the illegal structures they put there.
All right, Mr. Mefo. Well, so as it stands now, the traders, some of them were not able to move their wares, and I mean, from the videos in circulation. Remove it and keep it where, Mr. Mefo? I mean, in your house. In your house. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. All right.
They were made to believe that if once Soludo is trained by the court, that nobody else can do anything. They were misled. They know that the mayor also has the power to remove what they put there. It is so.
Anyway, like you said, you're hoping that they will take the local government to court because they were the same people that give approval for those illegal structures. So I mean, it's interesting that you're saying that they are the same people who are demolishing the structures. But Mr. Mefo, it was quite a pleasure speaking to you this evening. At least we have a clearer understanding of what is happening in Anambra beyond what we see on the headlines. Thank you so much, sir, for your time on the program. All
All
right,
right.
do enjoy the rest of your evening, and yes, take it easy, sir. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye. All right.